These little ambassadors are great reels, but you need to do one or two things to them because straight out of the box they're a little bit over brake. The main problem these days is the magnet setting, which is adjusted here. Tends to be a little too fierce even at minimum setting. Let's do something about that. First thing, off with the side plate. Now what you'd normally do at this point is take out some of the magnet elements, which is easy enough, but it still doesn't reduce the drag quite enough if you're a really good caster. Now there's lots of things we can do mechanically, but here's a much easier way, and I bet you haven't seen it before. So first off, let's get rid of the screws from the left hand side plate. Now, here's the cause of the trouble: too many magnets. Normally would have just taken them out, pull them off, it's quite easy, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get rid of them, and I'm going to get rid of this spring as well. I have this. This is a new left hand side plate from the Rocket Reel company. It's called Bare Bones because it's designed primarily for tournament casting. What have we got inside here? First off, we've got a nice axle support, and then we've got a new magnet. Now this is a mono magnet. All it means is one magnet element, and that's really good because that gives us infinitely more control than we get with the older systems. It adjusts, quite straightforward. Fast acting screw thread here. Now to fit it, all we need to do is push it on. Clicks into place, perfect fit, very well engineered. So we'll screw that back together. We'll start with the spool. Spool goes back in the normal fashion, like so. Now what we have here is the standard Abu centrifugal brake block system. That is way too powerful for beach casting. It will kill the cast in a moment. Now ideally I wouldn't have this particular format. The older ones where you've just got the 2 pins and 2 blocks is much better, but let's live with what we've got. We've got far too much power here, so we need to reduce it, and the easy way is just flick off the blocks. They'll fly everywhere, but I'm not particularly bothered about that. I'd go all the way down to 1. I'm not going to do that now because I'll have to go looking for the others on the floor. If you're a tournament caster, you'll take the lot out, but we're not really talking tournament casting here. This is for practical fishing, and what I suggest you do is leave 1 or 2 small blocks in. The reason I left the brake blocks in is because I'm going to use this reel for fishing. One of the problems with mono magnets, well, I call it a problem, it is for fishing, but if you're tournament casting it's exactly what you want. When you start from maximum setting you get nice brake, quite powerful. As you back off it goes progressively less. You can feel the difference, but a characteristic of all mono magnets, doesn't matter whether it's this one or anyone else's, the difference is that you reach a point where suddenly the braking effect is gone and the reel can go wild. If I leave a brake block in the other side, all I do is go down to a known minimum setting, because generally speaking I'll be fishing with 1 small block. Now if you're not used to the system or you're still learning to cast, best thing to do is to leave a couple of brake blocks in. Play with your magnet. When you get down to minimum setting, when you can feel what's happening, if there's too much braking because of the brake blocks, take 1 out, start the whole process again, set to maximum, wind back till you find a nice setting. One way and another you'll get exactly the tuning you need. Now the other thing you'll notice in this is that this cap is fixed, and the reason it can be fixed is that because of the excellent engineering, that spool is sitting in the middle of the frame just as it should be. So all we need to do is to remove any end float we've got, any side play here, with the right hand cap. That's it, that's set. Now that's good to go. That's going to be an excellent fishing reel, and from what I can see, this has got to be the biggest step forward in convenience that I've seen for a long time. So this comes highly recommended, not only for tournament casting but also for fishermen who want that little bit extra.